Alrighty, folks, you may or may not know this, but I have a particular heartburn for Brandon Turner. Let me give you the story in a nutshell. I am writing for Bigger Pockets back in 2006. Josh Dorkin and I are talking or communicating every week. I'm a featured blogger, blah, blah, blah. They bring in this part-time kid named Brandon Turner, and one of his first job he does is he comes in and starts messing with featured blog posts. He basically came in and created rules of the road that made it impossible for a full-time employee who was growing his portfolio to continue to be a writer. I think he was arrogant. I think he was disrespectful. And I have never forgot Brandon Turner from that period. Obviously, he has gone on to have wild success. So again, we're going to hear about Brandon Turner. He is 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 times bigger than I am. But I will remember Brandon Turner being a dick, and I can't get over it. So let's see what we have to hear.
So, and with an intro like that, I wish I picked a different video on him. But this one came to us. This was Ryan Pineda and Pace Morby discussing investment funds and how funds don't make money at the beginning, and they're using Brandon Turner's fund to talk about that. So we're going to watch that video.
But anyways, back to Brandon Turner. So when he was on the show, he was talking about how he owns $1 billion of real estate.
Yeah.
And dude, I mean, he's done that in such a short period of time. It's
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. All with like raising money. He didn't do any creative.
Yeah.
I don't think.
He wrote a book on creative finance.
No, I know he does.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm saying
but not like
his
sub two
fund.
seller finance. Yeah, yeah.
And you know, basically on the show, he was like, yeah, no, I don't make any money. Like that company loses money.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, all of our acquisition fees go into marketing to get more investors. And
same thing with me. Like my fund right now. So we have a fund, and it's only seller finance sub 2, but I'm paying payrolls.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
So like before guys, if you're a multifamily person, you want to get in multifamily, let me break the perception here for a second.
Yep.
You want to launch a fund? Here's what you got to have. You got to have $500,000 in cash. If you're listening to this, nobody makes money in multifamily for the first 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, the only person that
don't get mad when they invest with you and there's no cash flow.
The only people that make money in multifamily are the LPs. The LPs get a preferred return, or they get cash flow or whatever. But a lot of times, like you just mentioned, they're investing in a deal that they're not going to get a check for a couple of years until it starts cash flowing heavy, right?
All right. So, Mike, what do you think? Is the LP in Brandon Turner's case, or in any of these guys' case, they're not making money? The fund's not making money. What are they explaining here?
I think what they're talking about is a lot of people have frankly followed Grant Cardone, right? Grant Cardone is kind of the leader in this space, in my opinion. Bigger is better. Use your social media presence to raise money from your followers. Take that money, buy assets. So I think what they're highlighting is Brandon Turner in this case has such a big name. He is so famous. He has a wild and passionate following, even if he's a dick, but that's okay. I just had to work that in there because he just irritates me. He's got $1 billion in assets under management. Good for him. He's not making any money in the fund, apparently, because you have to do all the value add and pay overhead and you pay acquisition fees. So he's got to be raising the money somewhere else. Is he selling books? Is he paying himself a 1% collection fee on the raise? I mean, I heard somewhere that he has an $80,000 a month lifestyle. So I don't know where the money's coming from, but I don't know how to square all of this. I won't ever play in the syndication space. But yeah, I think these guys are right. I don't think these folks, not Pace or Ryan or even Brandon in this case, they don't make big checks until the exit. And I think that was what was wrong in the last 3 years is you could do a value add property and exit quicker than you expected. So you look like a genius. That time is over. And there's a lot of folks that won't see an exit for a decade. Best case. Worst case is they lose all their money. Best case, they have to wait a decade to get it back.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting because as we talked about in the last video, the life path trajectory of a lot of these famous real estate influencers is they start out talking about, you know, passive income and the BRRRR strategy and how to buy small rental properties like duplexes. But then eventually they become so big and popular that they end up promoting whatever fund they have. And it's interesting to see them explain their funds because you don't see this segment typically clipped out. This is a 30-second segment from an hour and a half long interview, and you never see this in their shorts. You don't see them talk about this very much, where they openly discuss, oh yeah, our funds don't really make any money. We're not actually making a bunch of money. It's going to be years down the road. Because when you watch their shorts, it's here's how we're going to make all of this money together. Let us do it. And I think the best course of action is what you talk about, which is, but oh shoot, your book's not here for once. I think it's because I gave a copy to my brother. You buy one rental at a time. It's in your frame at least. You buy one rental at a time. You do the work. You learn how to analyze the deal. You take the upside for yourself, and you make the money.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think financial engineers are going to get smoked in the next 2 years. The good operators are going to win. And I know what I hope happens to Mr. Brandon Turner, but I'll just keep that to myself.
I'm always rooting for you, Mike. And we can talk trash about him in person in Vegas with anybody who wants to come talk trash with us. Get your tickets to the Vegas event, February 17th and 18th of 2024. You've got a few months to rearrange your calendars. You need to be there. Mike, Dion, the Lumberjack, myself, Uneducated Economist, Bo Eckstein, a lot of other people are going to be there. Make sure you're there because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, great memory. And then one more time. Again, my experience with Brandon Turner is 15 years ago. I'm carrying an axe that I'm sure he has no idea about. I'm sure I've long since been erased from his memories, but I won't forget how rude and insensitive and disrespectful he was to me 15 years ago. So I'm going to carry that bag for a while.
Mike, thanks for having me on the channel as always. I appreciate it.
Take care.